welcome to All Hands on Deck. Another little monologue from me this week. Interestingly, I want to talk today about us within the movement and those of us that have awakened to a lot of the reality that's going on around us. And whilst I think we do have an obligation to others, very, very much so, I also think we've got an obligation to look at ourselves. So we've got this awakening, and on the surface level, it's good versus evil. It is about digging out the corruption and eradicating the corruption and building the new and bringing in new systems that decentralize those power structures and take it back to community, back to the individuals. And it's exciting and it's wonderful, and we're seeing people rise up and they're doing it. They're making it happen very peacefully. They're creating the new and building those safety nets for other people. But another part of this awakening that we need to look at is in and of ourselves. You know, I'm sure many of you have been on a journey since you've woken up, and a lot of it has to be in a kind of introspective focus. Now, something I started doing many, many years ago when I started taking a more stoic look at life and understanding that I needed to adopt some sort of stoic mindset in order to be able to manage what was coming at me on the daily. So the way I kind of looked at that was to sit and reflect. Now, a lot of people will tell you, you know, don't sit and reflect necessarily, and certainly don't criticize yourself. I'm not talking about self-criticism. What I'm talking about is a reflection. So you almost have to take your emotion out of the situation. So every evening when everything's quietened down and I've got a little bit of peace and I'm just sort of sat alone, I will sit back and I will just do a sort of 10-15 minute review of my day, and look at situations that may have come up whereby maybe something made me irritated or angry. Maybe something made me feel sad. Maybe I did something that was a knee-jerk reaction to something that had come up, and how I responded to that. What did I do? And I also look at a situation, because I do have to deal with a lot of personalities, a lot of different people, a lot of information, a lot of attacks. And what I need to start reflecting on each day, and I do it, is what did I do to either create that situation, or what could I have done differently to manage that situation better? Now, sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes, no, I got it bang on. No, I don't think I could have changed that. No, I'm happy with how that went. And sometimes I look and I think, okay, I reacted to that. Did I need to? Probably not. Why did I react to that? Was it something I did? Or is it something that someone else did or said that triggered me to have a response? Now, when you're going through this, don't sit there and say, oh my God, I should have done this, I should have done, and beat yourself up over it. That is not the point. You've got to take the emotion out of it. You've always got to be cold and look at it very clinically, very logically. So, for example, situations happen, someone winds me up, I get the arse. And inside, I might not have expressed anything either, but my face, I have no poker face. If I've annoyed you or you've annoyed me, my face is going to show you what it means. So even if I didn't say anything, you can bet your bottom dollar that person knows they've got on my nose. And I've got to find out why that triggered me. What is it that they did that triggered me? And it isn't a knock at them either, because quite often when someone annoys us, actually, quite often it's a character trait or similar within someone else that is in us, and it irritates us. So we've got to take that chance to reflect at ourselves. We can sit here, we can point the finger at others, and we can say, well, you said this and you said that. How we respond to a situation is up to us. How we respond is our fault. Nobody else's. You can say, oh, you wound me up, you said this, you said that. So what? So what they did? It's down to us how we respond to that, how we allow it to affect our energies. And do not get me wrong, I am no angel at this, and I've still got loads of learning to do. But I used to be an absolute firecracker. I'd fly off at the slightest thing. Now it's not the case. I actually go away and I spend a lot of time reflecting on how I want to see that situation run. So you can also take a situation whereby you have reacted, and look at, hang on, what were my behaviours there? How could I have adjusted that? How could I have made it better for next time? How would I want to see that run out? Because what we're doing by doing this is educating ourselves. What we're doing by doing this is strengthening our own resolve. It's about becoming more balanced and calm in dealing with difficult situations. It's about having the tools already there because we've gone through this process of reflection, in understanding how we can utilize that next time to limit a situation from exacerbating it and blowing up and people getting very, very emotional, and trying not to have a knee-jerk reaction at the time. And I've got a lot better at that. So I don't explode at the time. I stop. I say, okay, I'm going to have a think about that. And I go away and I'll spend time thinking, and I won't be rushed on it either. I want to make sure before I go back to that situation, I am fully calm. I am fully geared up in how I want to see that roll out. It's almost manifestation, I suppose, in a way, because I'm already predicting, actually, I want to see that situation roll this way. I want to be fair and kind and balanced in my response. So in another situation or a similar situation, I would from now onwards handle it this certain way. So when I go back into that environment again, I'm already geared up with the tools in knowing how to respond to it and not allowing myself to explode or cry or feel very negative about it. So what I would suggest is this starts with self-reflection, daily self-reflection. I do mine with God. That's just my decision. You do it how you want to do it. And I'll spend 10 minutes, like I say, 15 minutes. If I've had a really bad day, it's a whole lot longer. And I will sit predominantly in silence, sometimes with some nice music going on, sometimes with some candles on, just creating a nice calm environment for myself. And I will sit and I will just run through what did happen. I will identify the areas I could have changed my behaviour, or I could have responded differently, or I could have absorbed things differently. And then I will look at how I would then roll that situation out if my behaviour had been different. So I would almost play it through in my mind, how it could have been managed, how I could have handled it better. And then I know for next time, if I'm in a similar situation, I've got the tools already to deal with it. Now, the reason I'm going through this today is because, like I say, this great awakening isn't just about what's happening externally, it's what's happening internally. And for me, this self-reflection is quite often part of the spiritual side of the journey. Not only that, as time moves on, more and more people are going to become aware, or there's more and more likely to be maybe some confrontational moments. Maybe we're going to come up against people who, when they first wake up, you know what it's like? It's that denial. It's that pushback. No, what I'm seeing cannot be real. I will not believe it. And that creates quite a lot of negative and confrontational energy. And we might come up against that more. So it's a really good opportunity now for us to work out how we approach those situations calmly, in control without being controlling, and very, positive. We want to see a positive outcome here. We want to take this person full of negativity and anger, and we want to leave them in a space where they're calmer, feeling more secure, and sort of keen to learn more. And so what we need to do is make sure we get it right. And so every day is an opportunity where one of us is likely to come up against a situation that might be a bit grating or irritating, or maybe we get a bit angry, or maybe it's just something that leaves us feeling a bit lost or upset. There's things that can happen very, very regularly. So let's use those as an opportunity to practice, an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to learn the skills we need to deal with the difficult situations as they come. And this is a great way for us to actually live our lives anyway. I think personal self-reflection, whilst I don't like to focus on the self too heavily, it's not how I like to work. I like to give out. It's wise to have that little bit of downtime for self-reflection so we can make sure that we are approaching the world in a way that works for us, be it that, it could be just to have a good heart, to be very kind, to become more patient and tolerant, to be more proactive in managing difficult situations, taking responsibility for those within ourselves and manage them as effectively and fairly and kindly as we can. So, along with this kind of stoic approach to life and my relationship with God, I think self-reflection is kind of that third element that keeps me in a very positive mindset, makes me feel that I am absolutely not being run over by anything. I'm fully in control of my life and where I am and who I want to be. I still get things wrong, no angel, but I've come a heck of a long way. And with each passing day, I will get better and better at this. And also as well, as part of the awakening, I think it allows our souls to grow. It allows our hearts to grow. We're going through something we've never gone through before. And we're all going to have days and times where we're feeling dodgy, or we're feeling anxious, or we're feeling nervous or worried, whatever it might be. Again, really good opportunity to hone in on those. Why did I feel that way? Because nothing bad happened. So how could I manage that differently next time? What tools have I got available to me or externally that I can reach out to manage those situations better? If you're like me and you can have a tendency to be a bit of a hothead, how do I make sure I hold my tongue in that instant and I ask for the time and the space to go and reflect on that and then come back to the situation with a calmer attitude, with a plan in my mind of how I'd like to see that roll out and how I approach it to make sure I'm being kind. There's sometimes times where I'm gonna have I know I'm gonna meet some challenges on a certain day. Occasionally that happens. You know when that might happen. It might be a personality clash. It might be something else. So I'll quite often be in the shower in the morning, probably a bit, TMI, but I'll be in the shower in the morning and I reach out for me to God and I say, Lord, I know that I could mess up today. I could make some mistakes today. I'd like you to help guide me. This is how I want to be. This is how I want to approach this situation. This is how I want to react to that. And so what we're doing is we're almost laying the groundwork prior as a reminder to ourselves, as well as there, but a reminder to ourselves that actually we have the capacity to manage this situation effectively. We have the capacity within us. If we can control ourselves and manage ourselves, then we can't be responsible for everyone else, but we can make sure we walk away knowing we handled it correctly. And also it comes back to a very similar ethos in terms of community action has a national impact. If every individual across the world starts to learn to take responsibility for their own feelings, their own emotions, their own reactions, their own way of handling it, and every person does that, you're fixing the problems of the world. Now, granted, that's a huge one. That's a big one. But we can control what we do ourselves. And if everyone starts doing that, later down the line, we're going to find that it ripples and other people can understand this concept. They're going to understand their responsibilities, going to understand how empowering, I don't like using that word, but genuinely how empowering it is to know that you are going to control your emotions a lot better and you're going to be able to go into difficult situations and you'll be able to walk away with your head held high, knowing you did what you could to make sure that situation was handled as smoothly and as kindly as possible. So, yeah, self-reflection. Take 2 minutes at the end of each day, guys. Just to start with, take 2 minutes, run through your day in your mind. Where could I have handled that better? How could I have handled that better? Why would I want to handle that better? And what can I take from this into another situation that might be a little tricky? It is an exciting time. Everything's shifting, but we've got to make sure we keep shifting ourselves and improving ourselves and trying to become the people that we admire and we want to be through our self-reflection. So I'd encourage everyone to do it. And I would love genuinely to hear what your thoughts are on this, or if you already do it, or if you try it and then maybe in a few days you come back and you make, you comment and say, actually, yeah, that was pretty good. Or, all right, I think it's pants. Where am I going wrong? Happy to interact with you guys, because I think this is something that we all need to think about adopting. We all need to consider how responsible we have to be for ourselves. And it can make the world a better place long term if we can encourage others to do the same. Anyway, have a cracking week. It's all moving along beautifully. Still really happy with everything I'm seeing. And let's fix ourselves, get ourselves right, and we've got a much easier chance of helping everybody else. Lots of love. Have a good week and speak soon.